Welcome. You're listening to The Aligned Self, Conversations in Creating a Conscious and Abundant Life. This is Daniel Denovi. I'll be your guide and host. Let's see just where we can take this. Hello, friend, and welcome back to the conversation. Today, I was wondering to myself about you. I was wondering just how curious you would be to learn a little hypnosis. It's a principle and a technique that you can use conversationally with other people, and you can use it with yourself. I use it with myself all the time. Now, if you're still listening, knowing that this is going to be about hypnosis, then I know you're interested. And if you happen to be driving, don't worry. You can maintain focus. You can keep your awareness of the road, all the other drivers. You can drive safely from here to there. And just kind of listen. There's no trance involved in this. Yet, I'm going to illustrate a hypnotic phenomena. And it's centered around the idea of asking how. How? Remember the word how. Now, the principle here is that we're presupposing that something is true ahead of time. It's not a matter of whether or not you can do something, it's how fast will it happen. If you're going to a party, it's not a matter if you'll have fun. The question is how much fun will you have? You see, we presuppose that you're going to have fun. It's just a matter of degree, a little bit of fun, or a lot of fun. Now, here's another one since we're talking about fun. How much fun can you stand until it gets to be unbearable? Now, isn't that a question? Now, as you're listening to the sound of my voice, just how easy is it for you to grasp this concept? Do you think you'll be able to put it into practice in your life? How soon? When I talk to myself, when I'm suggesting things to myself, maybe I have a project and I'm wondering just how fast this will go, or I'm wondering how easy it will be, or how much fun I'm going to have as I engage in it. Another thing I might consider is how many new things can I learn? And when you're going to bed at night, I wonder how fast you'll fall asleep, or how easily. And if you're driving, have you noticed how easy it is to pay attention to the traffic and go with the flow? How easy it is to have fun driving and just excuse the behavior of other people while you're there because you're interested in how much fun are you going to have as you're driving between here and there. Now, as you start using this principle in your life, you might be wondering, how much more income will you make as you practice this new technique and utilize it in conversation? How much more satisfied would you be as you make more money? Also, in this episode, I've only given you a few applications, but you may be wondering how many different ways you can apply this in your life, in your relationships, in your conversations. In fact, as you think about the totality of your life, the rest of the years that you have on the planet, how happy will you be? Well, if you've been listening to me for a while, you understand that we've already had this conversation, and we don't wait for happiness to show up. We be unreasonable. And so we decide that we're going to be happy with no reason. And so that begs the question, how soon will you make the decision once and for all that you are going to make happiness and satisfaction a prerequisite for being alive? You know, most of you brush your teeth every day. It's a prerequisite in your daily habits. And so why not just decide to be happy, to choose to be happy? How easy could that be? Now, two great tag words that are in this that I've talked about in the past, but I'll remind you, and that is the two words wonder and curiosity. I wonder how fast this will happen. I'm curious how soon you'll figure it out. You understand that our other than conscious mind loves a little mystery, loves a little intrigue. And so when we say, I wonder, or I'm curious, our other than conscious mind goes to task and starts to solve whatever the mystery is. I wonder how many new ideas will flood my mind as I think about attracting more money, more clients, more love. About 10 years ago, I was coaching a client that was in a bad relationship. She wanted to leave. She knew she had to leave, but she just couldn't. She was like addicted to it. But the guy was not nice. And I can't say that across the board. A lot of men are nice. They're kind. They're giving. But this guy, he was a scumbag. And so I coached her on how to extract herself from that situation, how to love herself, and how to begin opening up to receiving love in a different domain. You see, she was successful in every other area of life. She was a CFO of a major corporation here in Dallas. And one of the reasons she stayed in that bad situation is because in her mind, she was 64. And so the dating opportunities for a 64-year-old was not that good in her mind. This is actually an idea that keeps a lot of people stuck, the idea that the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. She knew what she was getting in for. She knew how to handle this guy. She wasn't satisfied. He wasn't nice to her. He abused her emotionally. But she knew what she was in for. She knew what she had. And so there was this big question that continually stopped her from moving forward. She kept wondering if she would ever find somebody. I said to her, Charlotte, if, really? In the DFW Metroplex, Dallas-Fort Worth, in the combined cities, there's almost 9 million people. And statistically speaking, probably 50% of those are men. Now, granted, not all of them are eligible suitors for you, but it's not a question of if, it's a question of how many suitors, qualified suitors, will you attract. But I admit that does present you with a new dilemma. You'll have to adopt a set of criteria to make it easier for you to choose the most qualified applicant, the most qualified lover for you out of all the possibilities that you'll be attracting. How easy does that sound? Well, I think I've given you enough different examples that you can take this idea and apply it to your life, put it into practice. But I'm wondering, before we part ways today, if you haven't yet subscribed, how fast will you subscribe? Now, I know for a fact if you've listened this far, you found this interesting. Otherwise, you would not have wasted the time. And if this happens to be your first episode with me, welcome. I'm wondering how many more episodes are you going to listen to so we can get to know each other a lot better. Well, until next time, this is your friend and host, Daniel Danovi, urging you to follow your bliss, live your life from inner signals, be inner directed as you engage in the epic adventure.